Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all having a great day and that you are all doing well. To start things off, South Korean electronics giant Samsung is apparently seeking a trademark in the United Kingdom for a cryptocurrency wallet, according to a December 27th filing with the UK Intellectual Property Office. In the classes and terms section of the application, Samsung cited such developments as computer software for use as a cryptocurrency wallet, computer software for cryptocurrency transfer and payment using blockchain technology, computer application software for smartphones, namely software to allow users to transfer cryptocurrency based on blockchain technology and pay via third-party application software, end quote. The application follows rumors subsequently refuted by Samsung that the company had plans to include a cryptocurrency cold wallet on its Galaxy 10s smartphone. Samsung filed 3 European Union trademark applications for blockchain and cryptocurrency-related software on the 10th of December. On top of that as well, this is also the news that we had from the HTC, that they were also going to be creating a blockchain phone that would include Bitcoin and Ethereum networks on it, not the actual coins, because everybody would buy that if they had free Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then also there was something about Sirin Labs also trying to launch their own blockchain smartphone, if you will. Don't want to spend an enormous amount of time talking about smartphones and or cryptocurrency wallets. What's significant about this is that we now see a large number of big players getting into the cryptocurrency space, and not even just institutional investors or people with a lot of money. It's more so the idea behind crypto is, in order to be able to make crypto go mainstream, is that you need a very easy on-ramp. Crypto has to be easy enough for your grandmother to be able to get into it, to be able to download an app, and you can send her money and then she completely gets it from there. So I mean, it's very significant. I don't know how much of this is going to be rolled out in 2019, but I don't know. I don't know how quick this will actually catch on, and I have a very strange feeling, at least this is kind of how I feel about it, like until Apple makes an announcement that they're going to do something like this, which I assume won't happen for a number of years, that things will completely take off. But I mean, it seems still more niche-y, if you will, like a certain avenue of people who are going to be looking for something like this. But it's very interesting to see that we have other people in technology who are now taking notice to cryptocurrencies and the fact that they're making cryptocurrency wallets and or complete blockchain phones, and some of them are going to also be running as nodes as well, which I think is probably the most interesting part of it. We also spoke about that other phone earlier in the beginning of this year, but I think it was like nearing like 4 digits to buy one of them, and that's just not going to happen. Like, you can download apps for free to be able to have a cryptocurrency wallet on your phone. Next up, Vitalik Buterin is in the news. The co-founder of Ethereum replied in a Twitter thread, causing comments on when mining would become obsolete for the Ethereum network. It says proof of work was seen as one of the basic tenets of digital assets, ensuring immutability and a barrier to attacking a network while achieving trustless consensus. But Vitalik Buterin has reiterated his preference for proof of stake, which has long been envisioned as the next stage for Ethereum. In a Twitter thread, he replied shortly, causing multiple comments. Here's the actual thing. They don't have the actual photo here. So what we have now to kind of hopefully skim over this one, a lot of people have realized that proof of work is energy intensive. We had news before that the Bitcoin network is using more electricity than certain countries around the world, which is kind of crazy to think about, even though we had the discussion as well that we know that a large part of it is backed up by renewable energy. This doesn't really solve a lot of issues because Bitcoin isn't the only proof of work coin. So there are other coins that are also causing a drain, especially like Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and Ethereum on electricity grids around the world. The point is that Vitalik Buterin has said many times that he does not really care for proof of work. I don't know why this caused such a fuss. He's mentioned that many times, especially even when we actually get Casper, which is supposed to be the next mega upgrade on the Ethereum network. That is supposed to switch us from proof of work to proof of stake, but we had news sometime this summer that when we do get Casper, it's going to be a hybrid of proof of work and proof of stake, and eventually at some point proof of work will completely dwindle away from the equation. There was also something for those who weren't here in 2017. This also caused a bit of a ruckus when we had confirmation that we were going to switch over from proof of work to proof of stake on the Ethereum network, and people were talking. It was a very weird situation. People were talking about that a lot of miners would like lose their jobs and don't take away the free market. It was a very, very weird time period. I'm glad that a lot of those arguments have completely disappeared, but a lot of major I don't ever see Bitcoin going over to proof of stake. I don't see that happening anytime soon, like maybe ever. Blockstream doesn't update Bitcoin, so I can only assume that it's going to stay on proof of work pretty much forever. But a lot of other, especially like the newer coins, like the other newer altcoins that everyone's kind of obsessed with now, none of them really, they're either all completely pre-mined or they use proof of stake, because the idea is that you can kind of do it by yourself at home. Like no one will need like 3,800 machines in their home in order to be able to mine Ethereum. They just simply need the coins themselves. But this is going to happen sooner or later. Very varying theories onto exactly how this is going to cause the Ethereum network to kind of continue or expand, or where it's going to go from there. I don't think I highly doubt anyone's going to be like, oh my gosh, it's proof of stake now, we can't touch Ethereum anymore. It's more like a matter of how much more attention they will get, because if Ethereum ends up going up in price, they end up getting their upgrades, and they kind of make like headline news and stuff like that, and they more or less is like a scenario where it's like, we have this cryptocurrency that used to use proof of work, now uses proof of stake. It's less energy intensive and is still going up in price. I think that could, I don't know. I have these images in my head of things happening on the news and stuff like that, and I don't know if they'll ever come true, but I think it's going to be a major move for the Ethereum network when they finally do switch over, because proof of work is just far too controversial, at least at the moment. Until like Bitcoin is 100% green energy and or renewable energy, this discussion is going to continue forever. Next up, in speculation news, American payment service giant Visa is acquiring Ripple partner Earthport PLC, a payment network for cross-border transactions. This was reported by Reuters on the 27th of December. Founded in 1997, London-based Earthport is a financial services firm that offers cross-border payment services to banks and financial institutions. Earthport is reportedly a partner of the tech company Ripple, where the partnership is aimed at integrating the Ripple protocol into the firm's existing payment network to improve international transactions. It's apparently is happening for around $251 million US, or 30p per share, which is kind of weird because the share price right now is only 7p. Anyway, the point is this is causing a lot of speculation to float around. Simply, I'm pretty sure you can get why. The Earthport company, where is it? Somewhere around here. They have a user interface that is pretty much them connected completely to Ripple to do the cross-border payments. And the idea is that why would Visa be acquiring a company like that is completely integrated with Ripple, unless they planned on somehow trying to figure out a way, Visa, to use the Ripple technology by also acquiring a company that they are partnered with. Speculation runs anywhere from Visa can't buy Ripple, so they're trying to buy other companies that they have locked up with. This also, we hear that Visa is already partnered with Ripple. Once again, 1,000% speculation. When you read around online, everyone's kind of going completely insane. Anytime that a major market mover or player or anything is in the same sentence as Ripple, people completely lose their minds. Remember to keep at least 1 foot on the ground. It's nice and it's lovely to dream, to have your head in the clouds sometimes, but also remember to stay on the ground when you're thinking this as well. This does not mean that Visa is in a partnership with Ripple or that they are explicitly going to be using their technology. It could just mean that they like what Earthport has been doing. Maybe Earthport has been having massive profits over the last couple of years, and therefore this is why they're looking to acquire them. It's still, we're a couple days away now. I, for one, can't wait until the next year, simply because the amount of rumors that have been going around in every cryptocurrency project, it's not even just with Ripple, about partnerships and potential this and so. Whenever we do eventually, maybe, hopefully in the future, have a market run up again, we're going to have an avalanche of news from multiple different cryptocurrency companies and projects and startups and ICOs who are going to try and tell us all their great news. And I think then at that point, that would be the opportune time for the Ripple company to kind of tell us, hey, we actually are working with Visa, or hey, they're actually going to be using X Rapid and what have you. But as of now, make sure to remain calm. No one completely lose their minds. It is kind of exciting. I mean, the fact that they would even think of, or rather that they have acquired a company that is using Ripple's technology is pretty exciting. But once again, remember to remain calm until we actually get proper clarification on exactly what's going to be happening between these two companies. Next up, QCoin has delisted 10 digital assets, including Bitcoin Gold and Mobius, and Huobi has put 32 trading pairs on notice. Both exchanges cite issues to do with the weak liquidity and trading volume as reasons for their action, but the flurry of delistings also point to how the cryptocurrency market downturn has taken a toll on many altcoins. QCoin said it has disqualified tokens such as Bread, that should have been disqualified from the beginning, BitClave, WePower, and ETHLend for failing to meet the Chinese exchange's listing requirements as set out in its special treatment rule, or its ST. Digital coins at risk of being delisted are placed under the so-called ST for a mandatory review over a specified period of time. So without digging too heavily deep into it, the fact that Bitcoin Gold was delisted should give you an indication of, remember I always say the crypto market is focusing on a couple of coins. When you hear about certain coins in the news that are going to be adopted by major players and who's creating their smartphone and node phone around what and who is doing what and how this is being integrated into so-and-so, certain coins don't usually make that list. I hope that no one out there had their, or how do I say this? If you have your money in these coins that have been delisted, especially Bread and or WePower, it may be time for you to evaluate the situation and see if you would like to continue having these coins in your portfolio. That's the nicest way of kind of saying it. We're getting very close, and I hope that a lot of people understand what I'm saying, because I know that some people definitely out there get it, but I think a lot of other people, when I say things sometimes, I think people think that I'm, excuse my French, BSing, or that I am lying, or that I'm trying to shill the bags that I have. There's going to be a very rude awakening in 2019 whenever prices go back up. And those altcoins a lot of people out there are holding that they should not be holding in the first place don't get as much attention as they would like, and their prices start falling down. Just remember, this is not the first time that we've spoken about the delistings. This is actually like the third time in the last, 24 days. QCoin has delisted, I think, about 10 to 15 coins every week, as many other exchanges have as well. You may have also noticed that Binance is not mass listing anything anymore. They mentioned before earlier this year that they're actually doing a couple of delistings, and a lot of the things that they have on their platform, if they're trying to think about accepting a new coin, is going to go through a much more diligent process, because people were commenting that Binance was also adding SHIT coins to their platform. So just pay attention to what you have your money into. You should at this point have at least a tiny bit of an understanding of which coins have the potential to potentially be here in the next 5 years and which coins do not. Just going to leave it that way. Next up, Ledger is in the news. The hardware wallet manufacturer known as Ledger will be adding support to Cardano in the next firmware update. The information was released by the Cardano Foundation in a blog post a few days ago. At the same time, Ledger shared the information on Twitter. Cardano supporters were waiting for this update. The new version has also some security enhancements. The Ledger Nano S firmware will receive a new update in early January 2019, according to a blog post released by Ledger. The new Ledger Nano S firmware 1.5 will include new cryptographic algorithms, security improvements, and additional features. The main intention behind its release is to become a more flexible platform and support new assets. The company is able to offer services to new individuals around the world. So a couple of days ago, remember we were talking about crypto custody solutions and stuff like that? A lot of people were asking me what's the best wallet for Cardano? It's a very tough question. There are a couple of cryptocurrency projects, even like major cryptocurrency projects, that don't necessarily, how do I say this? It's not that they don't have their own wallet. Sometimes certain things aren't as secure. I'm not gonna. There's about 4 projects floating through my head that I'm not gonna really name out loud. As far as like a more secure way, I like the idea of using a ledger, and I've actually been waiting for them to actually add Cardano to it as well. And especially also, I don't think that Cardano is also on the Exodus desktop wallet. At least to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure that it's not on there, because I'm pretty sure I would be utilizing it anyway. Very good. Whenever we get news about any type of altcoin, rather major altcoins, being added to, whether it be Ledger, Exodus, blah blah blah, wherever it is, I like to talk about them, especially if they're going on to major cryptocurrency exchanges, because it's like another form of security if you're trying to cold storage them, or even if you're trying to find a way to be able to buy, sell, trade, or hold other cryptocurrencies on crypto exchanges. It's just always very nice news to have that we are finally receiving like tons of support for these other coins that previously had none, even at the beginning of this year. To kind of finish things off, the Indian government could possibly legalize cryptocurrencies, but with tough terms and conditions attached, a news report suggests. According to a new India Express article published on Wednesday, an interdisciplinary committee set up by the government to investigate cryptocurrencies is not in favor of an outright ban. An anonymous senior official who attended the committee's meeting told the newspaper, and I do quote, "We have already had 2 meetings. There is a general consensus that cryptocurrency cannot be dismissed as completely illegal. It needs to be legalized with strong riders. Okay. Deliberations are on," end quote. The government set up the committee in April of 2017 with the remit of examining the existing legal framework related to digital currencies and suggesting new measures to deal with the technology, including addressing issues around consumer protection and money laundering. Members include representatives from government departments from the economy and taxation, as well as the central bank and other agencies. India is a very interesting place. They said that we would, or rather, I'm not in India. It's just a very frustrating time. They said that they would give their people legalization or rules or what have you on cryptocurrencies in February, then in April, then in September, and then they said December of this year we would have proper clarification. It says somewhere around here. Yeah, the second iteration of the group is now reportedly expected to submit its new report to the country's finance ministry by February 2019, which means once again, they're probably not going to give proper information even on this month. I'm going to say, and this is my ridiculous prediction, if the United States somehow in some mythical fairy tale land decides to give their say on cryptocurrencies within their country in February or March of 2019, how much would you like to bet that about a week and a half later, India would come forward saying, "Oh yeah, we finished this a while ago, and now we're going to give our rulings to the people"? I'm pretty sure they know exactly what's going to happen. I have my own opinions on why countries are taking their sweet time. When you say 5 times in a row that you're going to give your country proper legalization and clarification or regulations on the cryptocurrencies within your country, and each of the 5 times you don't do it, it's pretty clear that they're waiting for another economic power to kind of go first. Anyway, the point is, hopefully, or rather, I'll say it this way. It's nice that they're not in favor of an outright ban. I told you guys before, I don't think they're going to ban it. I have a very strong feeling that India, Russia, and China are going to do something very similar, and that's pretty much where they're going to not outright ban cryptocurrencies, but they're going to ban a number of cryptocurrencies, and they're probably only going to allow a handful of them. I told you before, we had that other country, and people thought it was maybe like a fluke or maybe like a one-time thing. That other country that only allowed 6 cryptocurrencies in their country, I think it was Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, I think Bitcoin Cash, and one other one. I think we're going to see something very similar. I'm pretty sure that a lot of this deliberation that has been going on has come down to the Indian government trying to figure out if they can track transactions on these networks. Because one of the main things that countries have constantly been saying is that they're trying to stop tax evasion and to stop money laundering. So I'm pretty sure I'm assuming that when they do come out and finally say it, that they're not going to allow every single cryptocurrency, that they're only going to give certain ones, and I'm pretty sure that they'll use the rhetoric as we're doing this to protect our citizens from things like ICOs. Just wait for it. I have a very strong feeling. Last thing is, once again, speculation time. The entire market right now is just people running around with their heads cut off, trying to figure out which way is up and down. Yesterday, the Dow Jones and the S&P 500, 2 days ago, they went up, and then yesterday they went down. At the same exact time, the Bitcoin futures market, one of the futures for Bitcoin ended, and the price of Bitcoin also went down. And then a couple of hours later, the cryptocurrency prices started going up. So no one knows officially what exactly happened. The larger part of the news that I'm seeing is that it had to do whenever we see a Bitcoin futures contract ending, especially the ones from, I think, the CBOE, they're like month-long contracts. So whenever as the contract is nearing an end, especially if people have been betting against it, for some reason, Bitcoin's price also goes down to completely correlate with the futures for some reason, even though it's very weird because it's being denominated in fiat and not in cryptocurrencies. Not exactly sure why or how people around the world are paying so much attention to these one futures contracts. On the other side, when it does end, typically when they do end, Bitcoin's price sees a bit of an uptick, and this looks like what we are seeing right here. On the other side of this 9-sided coin at this point, people are talking about that they think that as the traditional stock market has been going down, that crypto is trying to find its own. I don't know, it could be a lot of things. At the moment, we are waiting for Bitcoin to pass by the beloved $4,000 area, because according to analysts, they are saying right now that in order to have a proper bullish sentiment around Bitcoin, and I guess therefore the rest of the cryptocurrency space, Bitcoin has to rest anywhere between $5,000 and $6,000 by the middle of next month, in preparation for Bakkt actually launching, because people are saying that they think that we could hit potential prices of $10,000 per Bitcoin when Bakkt is launched, or maybe a couple of weeks after. But we need a momentum. Like if we go from 3,800 to 10,000 over the course of a 2-day period, that's bad. If we go from 3,800 to 6, 7, 8,000 over the course of a 6-7 week period, that's a bit healthier. But as of right now, we need Bitcoin to pass by 4,000, stay above 4,000, and then to also hit 5,000 to 6,000. People were talking about a Santa Claus rally. I think we may have already had one of this. May be it right here. It seems like the market is just moving sideways once again, like it's up, but it's stale, like nothing's really moving anymore. Anyway, I think that is definitely going to do it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Hope it's absolutely fantastic. Hope you all enjoy your weekend. Go out there and have some fun. And thank you all once again, and I'll talk to you all soon. See you.